Hey friends, remember me? It's Scott with the Exploring Washington State podcast, and we're back after 6 months off. And to start things up again, I dragged my buddy Brooks Smothers from the show RV Out West to 4 coffee shops in Everett, supposedly to review them. And I've been drinking coffee my entire life, and at the very first shop, I learned something. Do you know what a 1-in-1 is? I didn't. So at the second shop, I ordered one. I'm not going to be explaining much more here, but you're going to have to listen to find out how it went. So we mostly were just drinking coffee and talking too much, but I think the episode holds up better than you'd imagine. So grab a cup, settle in, and let's get back to it. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Exploring Washington State podcast. My name is Scott Cowan, and I'm the host of the show. Each episode, I have a conversation with an interesting guest who is living in or from Washington State. These are casual conversations with real and interesting people. I think you're going to like the show. So let's jump right in with today's guest.
We are doing a collaboration project between RV Out West and the Explore Washington State podcast, where we are going to take a look at some of the coffee shops and coffee culture in and around Everett, Washington, which is about a half hour to 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on traffic.
Depending on traffic.
Yeah, further to Seattle. So joining us on the show today is Scott. So Scott, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, man. This is going to be fun. Coffee and travel. I love it.
First, I think, which one of us reached out to, was it me or you, that talked about this idea?
I think it kind of, honestly, I don't remember. I think we both probably said, let's do a show about coffee.
Yeah, because we're both coffee nerds.
Yeah, that or revolvers.
Yeah. Oh, it could have been the revolvers. That could have been the revolvers on the campfire. That is true. But kind of the intent or purpose of this was that we really just kind of wanted to explore what coffee is and what it means from a coffee culture perspective, as well as from the beans and coffee itself. So we are going to take you on a journey as we travel around 4 distinct and very different coffee shops in Everett. And we'll make sure that we have in the show notes links to these coffee shops with pictures and stuff. So if you do find yourself in Everett and are looking for a cup of coffee, you can come and check out one of these great places.
Absolutely. I look forward to this adventure today.
Me too. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right. Stop number 1. We are at Narrative Coffee. Scott, why don't you go ahead and kind of just describe what you're seeing, what it looks like, kind of what the feeling is. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm facing towards the front, and you can't see this, but there's a line going out the door now. We're recording this on a Saturday morning. We've got one barista working at the bar. But when you come into Narrative, open beam ceiling, exposed brick, a lot of wood, concrete floors, really welcoming vibe, noisy as you can probably tell because we got music going on in the background. And what I'm surprised by, our people are patient.
Because the coffee's good.
Coffee's great.
So it's worth the wait.
Yeah, no, mine. So I started off with a cortado.
Okay.
Which is kind of my new
go-to.
And I want to say go-to, but my treat. My go-to is going to be a pour-over all the time.
Okay.
Or maybe a French press. But the cortados, nice, simple drink, especially when we're going to go to multiple shops today. Got to pace myself.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, by the end of this show, no one will understand a word coming out of my mouth.
And my heart is going to feel like it's jumping out of my chest.
Right.
So tell me about a cortado, because I'm actually not familiar with it. What is it?
Equal shot of espresso, shot of steamed milk.
1-to-1?
Yeah.
How is that different than a cappuccino?
It's not. There's no foam.
Oh.
It's just warmed milk. I love just drinking straight espresso.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do that multiple times in a day. So I find that to be a good way of just kind of cutting it. The thing that I find interesting is that in most coffee shops, it's always served in a glass, not in a ceramic.
Yeah.
Yet I'm noticing everything here is glass.
Yeah.
All the drinks are coming out. Your cappuccino came out in a glass.
My cappuccino came out in like what I would call a juice cup, really. I mean, like it's like a little kid juice cup.
There you go.
I love the exposed brick in this place too. It kind of gives that charm of Everett where, it's that mill town, and it kind of...
What would be really fun to know is the history of this specific building. What was here? Because this building's probably 1920s,
yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So as Everett has changed over the last 100 years, wonder what's been in this building.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. The other thing I would say is the food here is fantastic. They do a lot of really good kind of, you got your traditional pastries and coffee shop, those kind of things. But also, like I started with the ham and Gruyere cheddar cheese, and that is my go-to here. I love that sandwich.
I can't say it's my go-to, but I followed along with you, and it was a great choice. It was excellent. I never thought of a ham and cheese as a breakfast sandwich. I don't know why not. Add an egg to it, and it's
Right,
is a,
right.
but
It's
it
the
was
sourdough too.
it was wonderful. What I'm noticing also is that almost everybody's getting food. It's not just
Come in and have coffee.
It's just not just coffee and go. It's coffee, come in, sit around. There's conversations going on all around us, and almost everybody has food.
Yep. And I love how they have the 2 couches up in the front of the shop that are facing. So if you're here with 4 to 8 of your friends, you can kind of sit and almost like be hanging in a living room in your own little corner of the world.
Right. And then also they got the window seats, so you can sit out there and watch the world go by. Kind of busy out there today.
Yep.
So a lot of people watching.
And I like that it's right in the core of the heart of downtown. It's a pretty cool spot.
Yeah.
It's been around. Originally, it started with a gentleman by the name of Maxwell, who originally started a coffee business with just a single coffee cart in Everett.
Oh, really?
That was just set up outside, kind of targeting the downtown core of businesses. So people on a lunch break or, hey, it's 11 o'clock. I want to get away from my desk and, go grab a cup of coffee. And Maxwell started that, and the coffee cart was doing really, really well that he decided he wanted to open up a brick and mortar.
So how I first heard about this place was a very dear friend of mine who I met when we worked at the Evil Coffee Empire. He would love to take me around Puget Sound and go, hey, let's go try coffee here. And this was his absolute favorite place because he lived in Edmonds, so it's easy to get up there.
Yep.
And and whenever I'd come over, he'd drag me here. And it's like he loved the fact that they had rotating coffees here. It's kind of like your local pub scene where you could get rotating taps. They were doing that. And that was, to me, this was the first coffee shop I was ever at that wasn't just serving one brand of coffee.
Right. And also, it's really cool that they work with a bunch of local-ish roasters who are, craftsmen in their own right, doing these artisanal roasts with beans.
Right.
And then you can come in here and either buy your own bag of beans to take home, or that's obviously the beans they're using here in the shop too. So
yeah, and I liked it. What I'd heard originally was that they really tried to focus on the roasters that with very small footprints that didn't have large distribution channels to help them gain in exposure. They took great care to present the coffees in the best possible way.
right.
Each coffee brand. So I've always thought this company has a really cool coffee aesthetic.
I would agree. And it's always, this is a place too I really like to come to, and they're like, what are you having today? Or what can I get you when they're taking your order? And I do this at bars too, and I'm like, I don't know. Pour me something.
Right.
And anytime I've just kind of left it up to them to say, I will drink whatever you put in front of me. And they have made me some incredible coffees, and I've learned a lot just by being open to that.
So you can't see this, but there's a guy. He's wearing a Narrative Coffee t-shirt, but he's got one of those twin lens cameras.
Oh yeah.
Hanging off his chest. And he's in taking shots of photo shots. And I just think it's kind of an interesting observation of somebody's out capturing the moment. Let me ask you something. This kind of relates to me to coffee. Well, you RV, right? That's your thing. So to me, that seems very slow paced.
Yep.
Are you finding yourself getting away from screens and taking on more leisurely, purposeful activities?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm here today. I'm witnessing kind of think people are there. This isn't a Starbucks.
No, this is an analog place. People are here and they are engaged with each other.
Yeah.
They are not sitting at a Starbucks engaged with their phone,
Right.
doing a doom scroll on their Instagram feed. They are here talking with friends, with family, with their children, and having that in-person conversational.
I think that many of us are finding interesting ways to be more present and connected to reality versus our screens. That's just my observation, and this place kind of symbolizes that
Absolutely.
in coffee.
That's a great observation. I totally agree.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.
So we have moved down really about half a block, if even that, from Narrative, and we now find ourselves at Nadine's Coffee. It's quieter, it's calmer. If you're looking to just come and sit and have a conversation with a friend, there's a couple to our right here that are quietly sitting and deep in the throes of a game of chess. You've got mellow, iconic coffee jazz music playing in the back. I'm getting some kind of Girl from Ipanema. Oh, the music just ended as I said that, but the music I was getting kind of the Girl from Ipanema loft style with open air ducting, beautiful old hardwood floors, beautiful wood. It's kind of a really cool mellow place. I could come and sit here and either just pound away on my laptop and do some writing, come in here, sit and have a cup of coffee and read a book or play a game of chess, hang out with a friend.
You wouldn't use the little piano?
I don't think that's a piano. Is that a harpsichord? What is that?
I don't know. It's a little kid's organ.
Is it?
Yeah. It's the old school. It's got the buttons like accordion. It's like buttons like on an accordion, but it's more just, this was probably a kid's toy in the 50s.
That is super cool.
So let's jump into the coffee. You copied me here.
I did. So tell me, what did we order? Because I just got what you got. So tell me what we got.
Called the 1-in-1.
Okay. What is a 1-in-1?
It was a shot of espresso with a glass of sparkling water, chaser, and then a cortado. Which you haven't had a cortado before, have you?
Negative. I have
Okay.
not.
So you just finished your espresso shot,
I did.
and you haven't tried the cortado yet. I like the presentation. I think it comes on a little platter here. It's kind of cool. I always, sparkling water to cleanse the palate. Not to sound like a coffee snob, because I'm not a snob. I just like coffee.
What is the Rainier of coffee?
The what?
What is the Rainier of coffee?
Starbucks.
Starbucks, you'd say,
For
is
me.
for you. That's the Rainier of coffee.
Yeah. Okay. True confession time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I got to say two things.
Okay.
Number one, Explore Washington State, my site, my podcast. My sponsor is Island Time Coffee Company, which is a friend of mine. It's a little micro roaster up in Whidbey Island, and I genuinely love his Island Sunset French roast. But when he doesn't send me my care package, my go-to is Safeway's Italian roast.
Okay.
I find it to be an eminently drinkable cup of coffee. I use an AeroPress at home primarily.
Yep.
And it makes a nice drinkable cup of coffee. That's
your go-to.
Well, not my go-to, but that's my daily driver, if you will.
Okay.
Okay. How about you?
Lately I've been on a Stumptown kick.
Okay.
So I've been getting Stumptown.
Now, which Stumptown are you getting?
The yellow bag.
The yellow bag.
I can't remember. Homegrown, I think, is what.
Okay,
it's the Stumptown homegrown, and I believe it's the yellow bag. So that's kind of recently been my go-to when I'm making it at home. But back to the AeroPress. I got one on your recommendation from a few years ago, and I've used the AeroPress a lot, especially during the snowboard season, because it's my go-to for tailgate coffee after a day of being up on the mountains, snowboarding all day, and I'm about to make the 1.5-hour drive home, coming down off the mountain pass, need a fresh cup of coffee, and so I use the AeroPress. I just realized something literally about 3 weeks to a month ago. I think I've been doing it wrong. So what happens is when I use the AeroPress, I put the ground beans into the press, I add the water, and then I've been keeping it like the plunger facing the sky. So as it's blooming, the gravity is still putting it into my cup. And so by the time I go to depress the plunger, like half to 2/3 of it has already kind of gone into the cup. So I realized there's an attachment, or not an attachment, but a thing came with the AeroPress that I've left at home. I've never taken. So when it's blooming, it sits plunger down and that rests, so that doesn't happen.
So that's called the inverted method.
Yeah, well, I just discovered that by default. I was like, oh, I should try it this way. And
So I have another question for you. Are you using the paper filters?
yes, and I do two paper filters.
Okay, so I use the stainless steel metal filter.
Okay.
And I do that because my good friend, that was one of his recommendations when he introduced me to the AeroPress
Okay.
and to the cult.
Yep.
And back then, AeroPress wasn't even selling stainless steel filters. The company has changed a lot over the years, for the better in a lot of ways.
Okay.
But then I started looking on YouTube of like are you aware that there's AeroPress championships?
No.
There's coffee competitions where baristas they have them in Seattle on occasion. They come in with their best AeroPress recipes and compete. It's crazy.
That's wild.
So my recommendation to you is the inverted method is a great way of doing it. Okay. Letting it bloom, giving it a quick stir, and then inverting it onto the cup in one quick motion.
Yep.
Careful. If your plunger's not really secure, it can pop off and you will get hot grounds on your hands, which is no fun.
Yeah, I can
So
see that.
safety first.
Yep, safety first. Okay,
Okay.
that makes sense. I'm with you.
All right.
Okay.
So I love coffee shops that have AeroPress as an option.
How many coffee shops have you been to that have AeroPress options?
Blue Star Coffee and Twisp,
Okay.
great coffee shop in the Metro. I mean, I love what they're doing. There's one, I cannot think of the name of it because I'm on the you put me on the spot, down in Vancouver, that they also competed in the AeroPress competitions.
Okay.
And there's one in Wenatchee that offers it.
Okay.
And more of them are doing it because it's in my opinion, it's a little easier than doing a pour over for the barista behind the counter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then if you go to like coffee shops,
But essentially, hold on. Essentially, sorry to interrupt, but essentially an AeroPress is just a French press. How is an AeroPress different than a French press? It's the same concept.
It's
same
a
thing.
hybrid. It's a hybrid because it's, number one, the grounds are finer, so it's not as coarse of a grind as with a French press. So the flavor profile is different than what you get on a French press. AeroPress is a cleaner cup of coffee without the sediment of most French presses. Okay.
Yep, that's
And
fine.
I love French press coffee. This is no
fine.
shade. Second of all, except I will say this. I have not ever been good at making a single or 2 cup French press.
Yep.
I'm getting a good cup of coffee. I have to make a big 8 cup to get good coffee. And
then I find by the time I go back for the second, it's cold.
So I like the AeroPress because it gives me that. So it's kind of a hybrid between an espresso shot and a French press.
Got it. Okay.
That's
I can
my
see that.
interpretation.
Yeah, that's a good interpretation.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about a French press? And again, I'm about to give medical advice. I am not a doctor, so take this with a grain of salt. But many moons ago, I worked with a professional dietitian at one of my previous jobs. And she shared with me something about French presses that if you are on a statin, there's something about the way the French press does whatever, and it messes with your LDLs. And something along those lines. I don't know all of the detail, but she was like, if you're on a statin, you shouldn't be drinking French press, at least on a daily basis as your regular cup of coffee.
That's the perfect reason for me not to do that.
Yeah. So there you go.
I'm not on statins, and I don't want to be. So, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So here at Nadine's, they don't offer AeroPress. That's fine.
Okay.
But they do have French press offerings, which we didn't try. What did you think of your cortado?
The cortado's fantastic. I think I'm going to be a convert of this. This is a nice.
I encourage the listeners to, if you're looking for a slightly different drink versus your daily driver latte,
Yep.
give a cortado a fair shot. No pun intended. Give it a fair because it's a nice simple drink.
Yeah, and I like that again. You called it out that they come in these nice little kid juice cups, and so to be able to sit here and have it be in my juice cup has been a nice little It's like an adult. I like it. I like it. Glassware, juice cups.
Yeah. I want to circle back to the AeroPress for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, do you have the original kind of the smoked plastic one?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know the story of the AeroPress?
No.
Have you ever heard of the Aerobi flying disc?
Yes, loved it. That thing would sail.
Right. The guy that invented the Aerobi flying disc invented the AeroPress.
Are you going to tell me he's a Washingtonian too?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's not. This unfortunately doesn't tie to Washington. It's Washington adjacent.
Okay.
So this guy created the AeroPress, and his goal when he created it was to create a simple, good cup of coffee. You know, he kind of had the same in an interview I listened to, kind of had the same comments about a French press as I do. Is that it's a little finicky for one and all that. AeroPress had been out there for a while. It had that octagon packaging, and it was just kind of a if you knew, you knew type product, right? So there is a investment company up in Victoria, British Columbia,
Okay.
and they buy small businesses, and they ended up approaching this guy
Okay.
to buy AeroPress. He told them, it is a story that I heard from the guy, the guy who runs the company's called Tiny.
Okay. Up in Vancouver Island?
On Vancouver Island. I believe they bought the AeroPress for $70 million. So since Tiny bought the company, most of the time when you buy a company, you make some changes. Well,
and you also signed a non-compete that you can't turn around and start a new one. Right.
So now AeroPress is available in a few different shades of plastic. There's a clear plastic. They have come out with a stainless steel AeroPress because a lot of people are concerned about plastics.
Right.
But the one that I want, they have a glass AeroPress. It's a double wall laboratory grade glass
Cool.
AeroPress. So they come out with a larger AeroPress, so you can do 2 cups simultaneously, and they've come out with all sorts of accoutrements to the line. That's where now these metal filters are prevalent. But yeah, AeroPress has got this.
They got their game. They're on point.
But they also have this really cult following of fans, and I send them to people randomly, like my Island Time Coffee guy.
Yeah.
They came over to visit us recently, and we were talking about coffee, and he's like, well, how are you making my, how are you making my coffee? What are you doing with my coffee? And I said, I use an AeroPress. He goes, I don't know what that is. And I'm like, how can you be a coffee guy and not know an AeroPress? And he's
so
like,
you made him one.
So they visited us in Wenatchee, and they were going to go stay at a state park for a couple nights. So when I got home, I just went to Amazon and ordered it, and it was on his doorstep when he got home.
But you didn't make him one that night?
No, because they weren't at the house. We were having dinner.
Okay.
And so they were and so when he got home, there was an AeroPress on his doorstep.
Has he followed up with you?
Yes, I talked to him the other day, and he hasn't used it yet because his son is coming up from California, and they're going to be filming a whole bunch of new content of how to, Island Time Coffee, blah, blah, blah. And so they're going to that's when they're going to try the AeroPress.
Okay.
He's going to make his son do it.
Why? Is he too scared?
I think he's,
No. He's a coffee curmudgeon.
No, just because he has a Mr. Coffee doesn't make him a curmudgeon. No, just kidding. Sorry, Chris, if you're listening to this. No, I think Chris is a very busy guy, and I think he's a little overwhelmed by the thought of learning a new platform.
Got it. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
But this is this would be a place where I'd come in and read a book.
Yeah, that's
work on my laptop.
Work on my laptop.
Yeah.
I would love to come in here. I could write in here with the music just kind of going and get in the zone, a good cup of coffee, and really enjoy the process of writing. Would be really easy here. Read a book would be good here.
Yeah, no, this is another great suggestion you had to check it out.
And the couple next to us over there they're sitting just playing a game of chess.
Yeah.
Lots of plants here that I like.
No, it's very cool.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. So Nadine's Coffee Shop, right in the core of downtown Everett. The one thing I do want to call out, if you decide to come to these coffee shops from, say, Mother's Day weekend through till, I don't know, I think it's like early October, on a Sunday, the farmer's market is happening right out in front here. And so the farmers market's really cool to come and visit too. All sorts of not just produce and handmade artisanal food products, but also there's other, artistry craftsmen as well selling their wares. So you could easily come, grab a cup of coffee, sit, and then just right outside the door of either one of these two coffee places, go and explore the
So-
farmers market.
I will say this about Nadine's. It's not on the street itself. It's not a storefront on
Correct.
Wetmore. So you have to go kind of into the parking lot and look for the sign.
Right.
It's not hard to find, but you're not going to stumble on it if you're walking just down the street looking for it. You're going to miss out. So be on the lookout for that.
I would agree. So if you do find yourself in Everett and you're looking for a different experience, a little quieter, a little more laid back, Nadine's is a great place to come for just a great cup of coffee and a pastry.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.
We've made it through 2 of our 4 coffee stops and covered everything from favorite coffee drinks to the AeroPress, and even tackled the question, what coffee is the Rainier of Java? After the break, Scott and I continue our walk through downtown Everett as we visit our final 2 cafes, sharing a few more stories and, of course, enjoying another great cup of coffee. So stay with us. If road trips, RV adventures, and discovering memorable places across the Pacific Northwest sound like your kind of journey, then you'll feel right at home with RV Out West. RV Out West helps you discover the best RV destinations, travel tips, and camping experiences across the beautiful Pacific Northwest. I'm your host, Brooks, and every Monday, we explore Pacific Northwest destinations, share practical RV tips, and tell stories from the road that will fuel your wanderlust and help you plan your next getaway. From experienced RVers to those planning their first adventure, RV Out West delivers ideas, insights, and inspiration to help you travel smarter and go farther. Find RV Out West on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and all major podcast apps. Head to rvoutwest.com for free travel guides, trip ideas, and so much more. Search RV Out West and start exploring today. Welcome back to our coffee adventure through downtown Everett. I'm Brooks from RV Out West, joined by Scott from the Explore Washington State podcast. We've still got 2 more cafes to visit, more coffee to sip, and plenty of conversation ahead. So let's get back on the sidewalk and continue this collaboration 1 cup at a time.
We are at the Loft Bake Shop and Cafe here on Hewitt Avenue in downtown Everett. About a year ago, April, this coffee shop sold and has been under new ownership for just a little over the last year. The inside of the space hasn't changed at all over the exchange of
I
ownership.
think I was here maybe 5 years ago, and it seems
Yeah.
very familiar.
Yeah, this is kind of, I would say, more of like your stereotypical, what you kind of expect from the inside of a coffee shop. It's got a lot of tables, comfy chairs. There's a couple of sofas. There's local artists, painters, photography on the wall. You do have some cool old historic Everett pictures of like Everett in the maybe 30s,
No, that's
20s,
no, early 20s.
early 20s.
Yeah, those are Model A's.
Yeah, so it's got old-timey pictures of like Everett. What's really cool too is that in the course of this last year, since the new owner took over, their bake shop is now internal. So they make their baked goods here on property on site. So if you're looking for a pastry or a little light snack or a little satiate a sweet tooth,
Right.
they have all of those that they now bake and make here on property, which is really pretty cool about it. Of the coffee shops that we've been to, back when I was 100% work remote, this was probably my go-to where I would come down here. It's of the ones we've been to, this is the largest one from an interior square footage space. And we didn't even go to, but in the back, there's a whole back area
that's right.
behind in the back there too. So if you want to come in, put some headphones on, listen to the Explore Washington State podcast or listen to RV Out West and knock out some work, you can kind of come in here, put your headphones on, and just kind of be left alone and
Right.
and do what you need to do.
And here the coffee that they serve is Fidalgo. So it's a local, regional coffee that's prevalent in a lot of places, grocery stores and all of that. So it's a solid cup of coffee. I'm drinking the cold brew. Brooks is copying me, drinking cold brew as well.
Yep.
Full disclosure, we're doing 4 shops today. We have to pace ourselves.
Yeah.
So cold brew is a little easier for me sometimes.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like coffee, but it's coffee. So when you were coming here before, kind of as your, remote work spot, what were you drinking back then?
I'm kind of boring. I'm an Americano kind of guy.
Mhm.
I just like a good cup of black coffee.
Well, yeah, and there's nothing. I hate it when people go, "Oh, I only like good
No.
coffee."
I mean,
No,
I love a good Americano black coffee. I'm not going to put the sugary crap in my coffee because I want to taste the beans. I
no,
wanna
no
taste the
hate.
coffee. I'm
No-
not hating. I'm not hating. It's just I don't need all of this sweet sugary.
I'm with you.
I'm not going to get a frap or any of that. Not that this
Right.
place serves a frap, but
Now, I will share a story. It has nothing to do with Everett, but I was up in Bellingham,
okay.
and I visited, I think, 13 coffee shops in 2 days.
That's baller status.
It was, and my goal was to go into each shop and say, what should I have?
Okay.
So I knew I was fully opening myself up for, something other than a pour over.
Right.
Okay. And so I went to the Alphabet Streets coffee shop up in Bellingham.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the drink was, but it was basically lavender and golden something. And it was like, and the barista said, "Oh, you should have this." And I'm listening to her describe it and thinking to myself, I'm going to hate this. This is going to be horrible. But I promised I would.
Yeah. Give it a try.
And so she told me what it was. Oh, it had oat milk in it. I mean, everything that I'm probably philosophically against in a coffee. And it was actually delicious. I have to be honest. It was delicious. So
Well, that's great. See, I love that as an experience when you open yourself up to say, hey, what are you drinking? Or I'm not going to order my go-tos. I want to try something new.
right. And if we open ourselves up, sometimes it can be kind of fun. That being said, here, we didn't try any of the pastries.
No.
They look pretty darn good.
Yep.
And I do like the fact that a coffee shop's trying to do something besides just coffee and besides saran wrapped muffins and scones.
Yep. Or bagels. I mean, nothing wrong with a bagel, but
Right. But kudos to them for offering all that. That's great.
yeah.
Lots of seating here. When
Lots
we're
of
here now, it's afternoon and it's
Yep.
pretty quiet. So it's not busy like the earlier shops were, but that's okay. And, but I could see working here, coming here and having a meeting, conversation.
Yeah.
Place.
You could easily have your earbuds in and
Oh,
take a Zoom here and do a Zoom meeting and
Right.
it be totally fine and not awkward.
Right. Lots of parking.
Yeah,
Lots of
parking is easy down here. And that's one of the great thing about Everett parking. It's mostly free. There's no metered parking. And so it's easy to get parking right out in front.
Right. And I think one of the things that helps these city shops is the abundance of parking. If it's difficult to park somewhere,
Yeah, people are
we're probably more inclined to sit in our car and go through a drive-through and grab a cup of coffee on the car and go on. But I do like the idea of us being more purposeful, slowing down, going in.
and having that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the one thing too that I've witnessed today as we've done this collaboration is that of all the places we've gone, I mean, even here, there's 3 people sitting right next to us in a sofa situation, and they're all just having a cup of coffee and chatting.
Right.
Nobody here is really even on a screen. There's one person maybe in the back there working, but
Well,
You
it's a weekend. I mean, they're hopefully, I mean, if we were here on a Monday through Friday, it might be people might be working here. But
right.
once again, here's the other thing about this observationally, lots of outlets.
Yeah.
So it's
So
a
you
good
can
place to
charge.
work. You
It
don't have
is.
to like have the one, you don't have to fight for the table with the outlet.
No, and I agree. And I would say that that's one of the things that makes this place why I think it made our list to come and check out.
So since this is kind of your stomping grounds, what
Yeah.
else is around here? This location, like what
Well-
shop wise and all that?
2 doors down is an absolutely fantastic tattoo shop. I couldn't give a pitch for, but they're a fantastic. Sunken Ship Tattoos does great ink. So you can come get caffeinated and go to get inked. But around the corner is what we call the hippie grocery store in my house. But you have the Snow Isle Food
That's right. I
Co-op.
parked.
Yeah.
That was the only parking I could find.
So the co-op is great for, a small hippie grocery store. There's a yoga studio right over here. There's a Shoo Bakery, which I think is our next and final stop, just around the corner, that does like croissants and like other big kind of cool pastries, coffee, and they have records, which is cool. There's some restaurants, and there's a great tap room just a block away, Obsidian.
So this is your stomping grounds. Let's talk about Everett in general for a second here.
Sure.
Sell me on Everett. Like what's really cool about Everett? Because I'm older than you, and I grew up in Tacoma.
Yeah.
And when
Tacoma aroma.
Well, but Everett was
Stinkoma.
the other armpit of Seattle. I mean, we were the south armpit. This was the north armpit.
Right.
No offense to anybody. No, I've made derogatory comments about Spokane, and people have literally emailed me and saying I'm a mean, horrible person. But Everett, of my memory, was kind of meh.
I have moved 37 times in my life.
Okay.
Some of those have been just crosstown moves. Some of those have been bigger.
Well, how many of them were forced?
I don't even know. But I one time went through and did count. I've moved 37 times. And so even in my 20s, everybody knew just to keep my address in pencil because you just don't know where I'm going to be. That said, kind of my formative elementary, middle school day life, I was in Snohomish County. And if you had told me I would be living in Everett, I would have said you're crazy.
Right.
I have been in Everett now since 2010, and I absolutely love this city, and I love living here.
Why? What is it about it? I'm not.
Yeah, I know. So I want to answer that question. And what's so cool about it is it's a city, so it still has its grit, right? So, being the county seat, if anybody needs any resources, those resources are here. So yes, we, homeless and drugs and other crimes exist in this city because people are here, or if they go to jail, we're the county jail. So that's kind of where Everett, I think, has gotten its bad rap. That said, there is a thriving art community here that is, everything from people doing podcasts and videos and murals. There's the whole community of graffiti artists who came here and painted a bunch of murals about 4 years ago. So we have these beautiful now murals in our city. We have the hockey team. We have the Everett Silvertips, part of the WHL hockey. We have our baseball team for the Aqua Sox for, Farm League baseball. We have Billy Strings coming to town in October, so we have a lot of great music and the food scene. I've been all open. I'm a food nerd. I search out looking for quality places to go and eat. I don't have a problem spending my money on a nice meal. And there's a lot of different places here. That doesn't mean you need to spend a lot of money, but right here from where we are, a block up is a place called the New Mexicans, and they're like New Mexico Mexican food. So it's, it's hatch chilies and rich moles with rich, thick chocolate mole and kind of more of what you would find in Taos or Albuquerque or Santa Fe. So there's just this food scene too that is really great. And in the realm of things, maybe not so much right now, but if you look at things, it's affordable from a cost of living situation.
One thing you didn't say, and I don't know that you know the answer to this, but what about Funko? For somebody who's not from around the area, they might still know a Funko toys.
Yeah, the Funko Pops, big pop.
How did that get started here? Do you know?
I don't even know. I don't know. And the other thing I will say, transitioning, the waterfront down here is bumping.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many great restaurants, and there's distilleries and breweries and tap rooms all popping up down in the waterfront now too.
Right.
That is just live music in the marina. They're doing all the FIFA watch parties right now. So there's all of that stuff going on that just makes this, farmers market, the horticulture. There's all of these different kind of street things over the summer that just happen here. So lots of things are happening here.
Okay. I'm saying this tongue in cheek, so to speak, but
Bring it on.
it's really cloudy today. It's not blue sky. I want blue sky. That's my.
That was yesterday.
I know. Yesterday was, from what I was told, yesterday was a bluebird day here, if you
Yep.
will. It was beautiful. So far, we're this episode is mostly coffee, but we're throwing
Yep.
in some local stuff. What you get? I'm going to give you one last question about
Okay.
Everett, and for this question, you can snap your fingers and you have ultimate power.
Okay.
What would you change?
Ooh, what would I change? Man, we got a record store. That's awesome. I don't know if there's anything right off the top of my mind.
Well, I've got something I'd change from what I've seen today.
What is it?
Coffee shops that say open past 3 p.m.
Oh, yeah. That's a really solid point. None of the coffee shops here are open past
That's
3,
my
which is
that's my
ridiculous.
negative. I will say that.
Yeah.
I don't mean it negatively, but the one, my wish as someone who's coming to Everett, and on my show, you've been on my show.
Yep.
And I always ask you, where's a great place to get coffee near you? So, Brooks, where's a great place to get coffee in Everett? And you're going to say, the Loft or Narrative or wherever you want to say. My follow-up question would probably be, how late are they open? And you're going to go, they close at 3. And that's, as someone who's coming into town as a quote-unquote tourist, for lack of a polite word, I would like them to be open till 5 o'clock. That would be my request of Everett, is that let's get those coffee shops open past 3 p.m.
Yeah.
I got to believe you guys are drinking coffee here after 3 p.m.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Should we go to the next shop?
I think we should.
Awesome.
We're going to mosey just around the corner, and our next and fourth and final stop is Shoo Shoo Bakery.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.
So we are at our fourth and final stop here in Everett on Grand Avenue at Shoo Shoo Bakery. This is more of a bakery than a coffee shop, but they have incredible pastries. The croissants here are off the hook. The baguettes, the French breads, the sourdoughs, this is a true, boulangerie. If we were in France, I would call this like a boulangerie. And you can come in and get a nice cup of coffee. They'll pour you an espresso or make you a cappuccino or
A breve.
a breve.
I had a breve.
So they have all of that. It's tiny. There's only 2 tables inside. Outside, if it's a nice, sunny, beautiful day, there's a bunch of outside patio seating, so you can kind of sit outside and do that. But what I love about this place is the turntable with a ton of dusty, musty records that I have no idea. You might find Lawrence Welk to I Found Men at Work Cargo. And before we started recording, I was busting out a little Men at Work, which is amazing.
I'm looking up there at the platters.
Yep. I found the Guess Who. They had the Smiths. I found Santana.
Yeah. It'd be kind of fun to go through this and find what we think is the most, dare I say, the hidden gem.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Album wise, what would be like, ooh, let's play this.
Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
Yeah. Okay. I think there's Sarah McLachlan there.
Yeah. See,
which that's sad music. I can't do.
Yeah,
I can't do that. The Zap Band.
Oh yeah. Now you're dating yourself.
I know. But and then anyway, I'm looking. The albums here all look like they were from the discard bin at a vintage store.
I was going to say at a Value Village or
they're
some sort of.
trashed. I mean, the spines are trashed.
These are not taken care of.
You cannot read the spines and go, oh, there's this or that. No, and that's kind of cool because
then you got to dig, and I'm a crate digger.
Yeah, no, and but I have no problem with playing it either. Like that's the whole point. It's like, oh, this is a pristine da da da. No, I like that. I'm gonna full disclosure. Brooks tapped out on coffee. He didn't have coffee here.
Nope.
So I can only speak to this. So I had an 8-ounce breve.
Yeah.
Because I'm a coffee guy, and they serve Olympia coffee here, which is one of those regional brands.
Yep.
It's regional roasters, got a big presence.
Yep.
It's good coffee. It's very good coffee, but it's not like, oh, I found that that brand of coffee that's hard to find.
No, and like I said, this is to me more of a bakery
Yeah.
than a coffee shop.
Yeah, but they have a full on espresso machine.
They do.
They're equipped to present good coffee here. So I'll give them.
They
I'll
are.
still call it a coffee shop.
Yeah, it is.
It's not like they have an old consumer kitchen Breville coffee maker
No,
on the counter.
Sure. No,
And I've been to places where that's
right.
And the coffee, you're like going, oh, this presents coffee well.
To me, this is a place I come in to take just a quick break, sit down, have a pastry, really to have a croissant here.
I'd probably spend more time digging through the albums, to be honest with you.
Right.
And going, what's this one? And put it on for a few minutes and here's the other thing. The turntable's beat up and it's approachable. That's where I'm going with this. None of this equipment is like, can we use it? No, it's here to be used. Now they have here's a sign. You can't read it because it's behind you, but it says, please do not stack records on top of the receiver. Thank you. And then if you look at the receiver, there's a bunch of books stacked on top of it. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I just got to chuckle.
So, Scott, I got a question for you. Let's talk about camp coffee. Now, I know you're not a big camper right now.
Right.
Maybe in the future.
You're working on me.
Yeah, I'm working on that. But let's talk about what it would be like for you. We'll call it tailgate coffee.
Right.
What would be your go-to in the field bean mix? How would you make it? And for this conversation, I'm going to take the AeroPress out because we've already talked about the AeroPress a bunch today.
Okay.
So that is not an option for this question.
I'm bringing a Keurig and a 150-foot extension cord.
Nice. And where are you going to plug that into?
Yeah, I don't know. So jokingly, my idea of camping is bad room service. That's
right.
That's always
We've talked about that on my show.
Yeah, it's been the joke. But playing along with the spirit of it, what I've been thinking about doing, full disclosure, was with an AeroPress, but I'll go along. I'm thinking about buying one of those like jet boils or like a portable camp stove that I can heat some water on.
Yep.
So I have a Honda Pilot.
Yep.
And I drive around a lot. And so lift the tailgate, have a camp chair out, make some coffee. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Camp coffee to me is the same thing.
So I can't use an AeroPress, which makes me think what else I would do. I'm probably going to go with the pour over.
Okay.
And because it's a pour over, which to me can be a little more finicky than the AeroPress. See, the beauty of the AeroPress is it's I got that dialed in. And in an AeroPress, I kind of fiddle, or not, excuse me, with a pour over, I kind of fiddle more.
Yep.
And I think of camp coffee, what I think of camp coffee is that it's saving me from going through a drive-through at a big box brand, whether it be Starbucks or Dutch Brothers. I don't want to. I'm probably going with, because I like dark roasted coffees. I like primarily Latin American beans.
Okay.
So I'm probably going with something like, Island Time. But you mentioned Stumptown.
Yep.
Another very solid brand. So I would probably go with an Italian or a French roast.
Okay.
Of Latin American beans by somebody.
Single origin?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. And one of the things I like to do when I travel around is try local roasters' coffees. So like up in Bellingham, have you ever had Hammerhead?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I get Hammerhead at the co-op.
Okay.
Right here.
The hippie store that you talk about.
Yeah, the hippie grocery store.
Hammerhead has a Velvet Elvis. Have you had the Velvet Elvis?
No.
It's just a cool name. I mean,
it is.
just
I
a
love
cool
that.
name.
Yeah.
And last time I was in Bellingham, I bought a bag of that and took it home, and that's a really, really good dark cup of coffee.
Okay.
So I would probably, in this fantasy.
Yeah. Let's make it a reality, though. Let's not call it fantasy.
No. I'm talking about like finding a local, like, where am I?
Okay.
If I'm in Twisp, I'm going to grab some Blue Star.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay?
fair.
So if I'm in Yakima, what am I going to grab? I don't know. Down, if I'm in Spokane, I'm probably going to First Avenue Coffee and Roast House.
Okay.
Spokane's another great city for coffee. Spokane's got a great coffee scene. We should go to Spokane and do this in Spokane. We should.
Version 2.0.
Well, I'm actually 2.0. I think we should go to Bellingham.
Okay.
Because it's a lot closer for both of us. So that's what I'm doing, is a dark roast. Probably going to pre-grind it because I'm lazy and I don't want to take a hand grinder with me in the car. I'm just lazy.
No, I get that. I don't grind coffee when I'm making tailgate coffee.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm
It's
going
ground.
to cut some corners. But that's probably what I'm doing is a pour over.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the jet boil.
Yeah.
Pour over.
Yeah.
That's fair. Makes a great cup of coffee, and you know what I mean?
And it seems like it's no fuss, no muss.
Yep.
So
That's what camp coffee should be. It should be good quality. So you're using good beans. You're getting quality there. No mess, no fuss.
Right.
Easy to do.
Yeah. Pour over, paper filter, put the paper filter in the trash can, easy peasy.
And you're done.
We're good to go. Now, for the filter or for the pour over, probably going to go with the ceramic one versus plastic or metal because of the way.
For the container, you mean to hold the paper filter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because from the thermal aspects of it.
Right.
But we'll
You don't want plastic leaching into your Java?
no, it's not so much that is that plastic doesn't retain the heat quite as well.
Yeah. So by the time you get to drink it, it's cold.
Yeah. So I'd probably go that way.
Okay. You should put a warning on your cup just to let you know that the contents might be hot so you don't sue yourself for spilling coffee in your lap or something. I'm just saying that,
I appreciate you looking out for me.
Yeah, you need a sticker on your coffee mug that,
Yeah, contents may be hot.
yeah, warning.
So let me ask you this: when you're on the road and you're in the RV,
Yep.
and you're doing coffee,
Yep.
So scenario I'll throw at you. Last year you did your content creators summit up at Angel
of the Winds RV Resort. Yep.
Yeah, very cool. I stayed in New York.
Yeah.
So I had the best place. Sorry, that year you didn't see it. That year it was off the
Chart. I believe it.
It was cool.
Although I have a 12-inch memory foam mattress in the trailer,
All
so
right,
I sleep good.
You're packing up. You're closing up the trailer. You're
Yep.
going to make a cup of coffee, and you're going to drive away. So you're driving from there towards your house.
Okay.
What do you put in the coffee in?
You mean mug-wise?
Yeah.
I have a, whatever. It's not a Yeti tumbler, but it's like a Yeti tumbler.
So metal.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Okay.
Doesn't burn my hand. Keeps the coffee warm.
Okay.
Keeps it warmer for,
And the truck's got enough cup holders.
yeah.
See, the pilot's lacking.
Oh, well, that's
The single biggest failure point in that on my Honda Pilot is the lack of cup holders that work.
that's a bummer. That is a real bummer.
Fun fact: before my Pilot, I had a Honda Fit. You know,
Okay.
the little
Yeah, we had a Honda Fit.
the little clown car.
Yeah, we had a Honda Fit.
I'm
with
6'4"
great gas mileage.
I'm
It was
6'4". I get climb in and out.
Did you sit in the back like Hightower and Police Academy? Did you take the whole front seat out?
No,
You should
actually,
have.
I had plenty. Shockingly, that was a very roomy driver's compartment for me.
It was.
Okay, and I loved my Honda Fit. It had 10 cup holders in that little car.
Yeah.
I mean, I had 5 cup holders in the front that I could reach because it's so small I could get to the passenger side.
Right.
My Pilot only has 2
In the center console?
and it doesn't handle big cups. So you're doing a metal double wall
Yep.
stainless steel. See,
I know. You got,
I'm
You're
not
anti-metal.
I'm not anti-metal, but it does something to the coffee. But I've yet to find a good ceramic travel
mug.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me ask you this.
Yep.
We've been to 4 shops today.
Yep.
I'm not going to ask you to pick your favorite,
Okay.
but give me the high point of today.
So that's a really good question. When we planned this trip and looked at doing this kind of collaboration tour, these are 4 very different establishments. And so it's not like I can compare them apples to apples, even though they all kind of fall under the coffee shop window or umbrella, if you will. They were 4 very distinct different places. I would say Narrative and Nadine's are probably the most similar in atmosphere, vibe, quality of coffee and presentation and all that. They were both, high end. You can tell that they really, really, really care about,
Right.
The quality and the presentation of how they do their coffee. The Loft is probably one of my most go-tos here in town because I can go, I can sit, get my work done, or, take my laptop and do what I need to do. And they make a great cup of coffee and it's no frills and you just go in and get it done. And then here at Shushu, again, this is a place I come for a croissant,
Mm-hmm.
but they sell out of croissants often. So if you're here at 3:00 in an afternoon, they're not going to have croissants. You got to come in the morning. But
Okay, I'm going to pivot the question slightly. So
Sure.
you mentioned to me in between our recordings, you have a friend in Pennsylvania.
okay,
Okay. Imagine your friend comes out here to visit you.
where would I take him?
Yeah. Where are you taking him?
If my wife isn't listening, I'm going to take him to a bikini barista. Just kidding.
Which one?
I don't know. That I don't know. That I don't know. I'm just kidding. I would say probably Narrative or Nadine's, because it's that whole kind of what I would think of, that more kind of traditional coffee shop.
Yeah,
place.
it's showing. Those are both of those places to me are, and especially Narrative. Narrative has a very Northwest coffee culture vibe.
Yes.
Okay, it's coffee forward.
Yes. And that's, yeah.
It's
So that's what I would do.
Yeah, it's
Which,
yeah.
and you and I were talking about some of the last bastions of coffee shops in Seattle. And so, I had talked about the last exit that was on Brooklyn Avenue in the U District that I used to go to a lot, umpteen decades ago. And that place really larger scale than Narrative is from a square footage space, but very much Narrative brings back to me that reminiscent, minus the stage where last exit you could go in and there'd be, somebody doing acoustic folk music on a guitar, or whatever.
Right. So if I were bringing my wife into Everett for coffee, I'd bring her here.
Okay.
Because she'd want pastry.
Yeah.
So she's not as coffee forward. I'd make her happy here with the choices of pastries because I know her taste, and that counter is dangerous.
Right.
The loft, however, would probably be a good solid one also for her. I think all four of these show to me that coffee's not an afterthought in Everett.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And that makes me happy.
Yeah. And I think that scene here in Everett, there's a community around it that appreciates being able to go and find a good quality cup of coffee.
Right.
And understand that and have those expectations. So when they go, they know what they're getting, and to be like, hey.
So I would say to anyone listening, if you're in Everett, we just gave you 4 places to check out.
Absolutely. And we will make sure to have in the show notes all of these 4 stops. I'll link to the record store and some of the other places that we discussed. So that way, too, there'll be links in the show notes for all this. So you can go over to rvoutwest.com or to explorewashingtonstate.com and get additional information for the things that Scott and I talked about.
I got one last impossible question for you.
Okay, bring it on.
Of all these 4 coffee shops, if I'm bringing my RV into Everett, where's the best parking?
I would leave your RV at the campground and come in on your tote or your dinghy, unless you're in a Class B like Sprinter van. Then you can find parking, but I would not bring my RV. There's nowhere to park.
Okay.
There's really
good
nowhere
to know.
to park. Yeah, there's nowhere to park.
You're not going to pull your 36-foot Airstream in here?
No, because let's be honest, when I'm hooked up to my 26-foot trailer with my tow vehicle, my 1-ton truck, I am 55 feet in length.
Yeah, there's no parking.
There's
no parking for that
no
here in town.
place for anywhere here in town.
All right.
Well, I think we are going to end that here. So thank you all for tuning in, and it's been great. Thank you for joining us as we have tried something different here with Scott Cohen of the Explore Washington State podcast and Brooks Smothers of RV Out West. And I hope you guys enjoyed this different kind of show episode. Thanks for listening.
All right.
Hope you enjoyed the show. You can reach me on Twitter at ExploreWaState. I'd love to hear your comments. You can also visit our website at explorewashingtonstate.com. If you know anyone who would like the show, it'd be amazing if you'd share the show with them. This is the biggest way that we grow this show. Good old word of mouth. Glad you were here with me today, and I hope to have you listening to the next episode. See you then.